Millman, and who a lot of us know here, and Maria Popova, who we thought would be interested in both the design and the history, and the four of us went on together and we bought the book.
Wow. And so and it's this original, just one of a kind manuscript with these pictures.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do when you had it? What did you, like, did you just like, I would be afraid to touch it.
Terrified.
Yeah.
It was dated 1945, and it had been in her estate. She died in 1991, and so it had come to this bookseller who was based on the East Coast, and then come to the fair. So it had never been published, and fireproof safe.
Got a fireproof safe, put it in the garage, and then said, "Oh my God, what are we going to do with this?
And so,
bring it out to the world."
And what we're seeing here is this is all original. This is like paintings and the writing and stuff is exactly as you found it.
Yeah.
And you presented it. And so what made you, so you took this thing and you went and pooled your money together to buy it. Then why did you want to turn it into a book? What made you see that you wanted to release it?
I think at that time, and even more so now, it felt like we stood there learning about this woman who we'd never heard of, and it felt like we both should know who she was. I work in magazines. She worked in magazines. She was the first woman ever to art direct at Condé Nast. She obviously was an illustrator and a food illustrator, and Wendy does these things, and it felt like she's clearly influenced our lives and our careers, and yet we don't know her name. And there must be other people out there who would feel that way, either about her or about another person who did influential work, but whose name, for whatever reason, maybe because they were a woman, it was the 50s, maybe because of another similar reason, never got recognized. Their influence may be recognized, but the person behind the influence wasn't. So we felt like, let's get this work out. It's never been published. It's so beautiful, and it feels really of the moment, even though it's like 70 years old. But how we were going to do that wasn't clear when we actually bought the thing.
Yeah, and she was just such a groundbreaker. I mean, she was the first woman in AIGA. She was the first woman admitted to the Art Directors Club. She was the creative director for 17 Magazine and for Charm Magazine, which were just, Charm Magazine was it was before Ms. Magazine. It was called a magazine for women who work. So it opened up these whole, markets and fields that had never been open to people before. So we felt like, well, we really are standing on her shoulders, and we didn't realize who she was, and we wanted to bring that to light.
So you mentioned Debbie Millman and Maria Popova. So you had some other collaborators who bring this thing to life. Could you describe who all worked with you on it?
Yeah, I mean, one of the first things we tried to do was figure out who might have known her. She was born in 1908. She died in 1991. We found it in 2013. So there were not too many of her contemporaries to be found. She did teach at Parsons for many decades, and